My name is Mogens Hartfeldt, and I'm a business development manager here at Altom Software and Consulting. I would like to welcome you to this 45 minutes webinar for the banking and insurance industries, which we call the How to Skyrocket Banking and Insurance Processes. With me is Jan Putz, who will introduce himself.
Yes, my name is Jan Putz, and I'm a senior analyst in Altom Software and Consulting. I've been working for Altom for almost 20 years, and since 7 years as a senior analyst. And for the last 3 years, I've been involved in projects using the Digital Product Center, the solution we would like to talk about today. And I hope that from this presentation, you will learn more on both about the projects and the DPC. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jan. And what we're going to do is to mute everybody to make sure that there's not too much noise. And if you do have any questions, please put them in the chat. We will get back to you individually with the answers afterwards. And finally, of course, we will send this presentation to all of the people participating. Here's the agenda for the next 45 minutes. First, I would like to briefly present the company. Next, we will spend some time presenting the main attraction, the global bank customer case. Afterwards, we will briefly present 3 other customer cases where the solution, which Jan mentioned, the Digital Product Center, in short DPC, was involved. Finally, Jan will make a brief business-oriented demonstration of the solution, and at the end, I will make a short summary. Altom Software and Consulting is a Polish software house that specializes in the banking and insurance sector. It has a team of approximately 250 skilled programmers and consultants, which represents more than 55 different technological competences. We have completed more than 200 large projects, primarily in the financial sector, and more than 25% of our revenue derives from international projects outside Poland. We are very proud to have participated in many successful projects for both the insurance and the banking industry. The top section are the insurance corporations, and the middle section we have the banks. Before we move to some bank and insurance cases individually, I would like to mention just a few others. For Alliance, we have digitalized processes related to medical assessments and integrated these into their existing insurance systems. Annually, more than 30,000 new policies and a similar amount of claims volumes are handled by the solution. For AXA as well, Altom has been a key partner in their e-commerce project and has significantly contributed creating a new global platform. Important how your customer sees you. And here we have 3 statements from AXA, Polish Postal Insurance, and Cardiff. And these customers express their faith and confidence in Altom as an engaged, skillful partner working hard to successfully implement the solutions. So we are very happy for that. Now we would like to present to you the global bank case, and let's see how process digitalization reduced the cost of manual labor by 60 to 70%. How was the situation at the global bank prior to the digitalization project? The global bank experienced scattered process management capabilities across domain systems, and this was problematic in terms of a lot of things. Some of these were the capability management, the accountability, meaning can you trust data, the service level agreements, and it was also important that they were able to implement quickly regulatory changes when they came. Thus, it was key for the global bank to decrease time for the product delivery, time for the process changes, time for new product implementation, and to reduce the number of errors, of course. So what happened at this global bank digitalization project? In total, 30 processes were automated one by one. There are 3 process categories, the internal processes, the certification processes, and the sell and upsell processes called the customer buying processes. These process categories, they varied in complexity, meaning depending on the scale of backend integration. Just to give you a few examples of the internal processes, it could be processes like collecting information, declare something within the organization, making email reminders, making papers to sign or fill in, stopping loans, conducting surveys, documenting tax involvement, and stuff like that. These processes are often pretty easy to implement within 2 or 3 weeks. Examples of certification processes could be the certification process for loans, for the ID for branches, the relief packages. Doing these things right using digitalization prevents problem occurring afterwards, requiring even more manual work. So it's very easy, it's going to be fixed once. And to give you some examples of the customer buying processes, this could be credit cards, customer credits, hire purchases, bank accounts, and so on. In the sales processes, this was calculated that a 60 to 70 reduction in manual labor cost was achieved after implementing the DBC solution. Let's take a closer look at the customer buying processes. They are divided into 4 categories: acquiring new customers, the upselling processes, the mobile app verification to verify the identity of people, and how to make new agreements for the customers after a bank merge or an acquisition. So how was the state of the processes before the digitalization and the automation project? To become a customer with a credit card or debit card, previously you had to enter the branch and fill in paper forms. Then the staff or yourself entered your data into computers in separate systems. It was the same when you wanted to get another product like credit card, loan or deposit. Once again, you had to go to the bank branch and fill in paper forms. And then again, staff entered data into computers in separate systems. The identity verification was a part of other sales processes. It was either done on-site in the branch or confirmed by a courier. The mergers and acquisition recertification processes helps to get customers on the same current agreement. This process was purely manual previously and required physical forms to be filled in at the branch or sent to the customer. So how did the processes look after the automation and the digitalization? For the acquiring new customers category, now you may become a new customer without moving from your home. The 150 steps are fully automated. You choose a product on the web and fill in the forms using the web or your phone. Then software verifies the data you provided in both in external databases like your personal ID and internal bank systems like scores for debit and credit limits. Furthermore, there's an automatic anti-fraud or anti-money laundering verification. Then there's a core banking activation, and electronic version of documents are generated automatically. Getting another product in the upsell category is almost the same process as when you become a new customer, except the part with the customer identity verification. Looking at the third category, the identity verification is a sub-process, which is a part of becoming a new customer. Here there is a video verification available using a mobile phone. It helps the customers provide verified personal data like personal ID, addresses, and so on. The data is used in next process steps. For the last category, the new customer forms from the merger and acquisition applications are being auto-filled in with known information for the same products the customer had previously and is sent to the customer to approve online. And after the autofill of forms, process category 1 takes over. Generally speaking, the main advantage of all processes being digitalized was to unload people working in the bank branches and call centers from the task of doing typical administration activities and allow them to dedicate more time identifying customers' needs and focus on the upsell. The bank estimates that thanks to digitalization of the customer buying processes, manual labor has decreased by 60 to 70%. The DBC solution, which you're about to see in a minute, is based on the open source Camunda engine. More than 100,000 users utilize the Camunda solution every day, and it is widely used in the finance sector and is used by companies like the European Central Bank, NetVest, Ikano Bank, Hannover Re, Provincial, LVM Versicherung, ING Bank, Morgan Stanley, and many, many others. Camunda works as glue that ties together processes which previously was executed in separate systems, previously creating annoyance and decreased efficiency for both the customers and the end users. In addition to the Camunda functionality, Altom developed their own modules called the DBC solution, among which is a module creating a graphical view displaying the status of the processes and marks queue time red and shows where processes are executed graphically. And this makes it easier for business support to eliminate bottlenecks. Another module is making it easier to make waveforms and so on. It is a low-code solution, which means that the solution mainly can be implemented and maintained by business people. And because it is a low-code solution, widely used in the finance sector, it is also a solution having a very high degree of security. One of the benefits of using DBC is the quick implementation of new products. This could be an example we've seen previously has been, the COVID-19 relief options as the low interest loans. Altom also implemented the DBC solution in many other financial companies. I would like to present briefly 3 more customer cases. Here we have the PKO leasing company, which required a solution to orchestrate internal and external services to complete the end-to-end sales process, which include in-house and external sales services. The process utilized the services of internal bank systems like risk assessment, core bank systems, and external systems like the debtors register. DBC was implemented to do the service orchestration, the event-driven architecture, and the microservices part. As a result, PKO Leasing has got an ecosystem which allows partners to offer leasing products requiring financing. The solution makes it easy to integrate new partners if required. The next case is Santander Consumer Bank. Altom helped Santander Consumer Bank to digitalize 4 of their products so far: the hire purchase, the credit loans, the savings account, and the special purpose loan. Web processes are integrated with banks, enterprise service bus, internet banking application, and mobile applications. The 4-year cooperation is expanding onto both leveraging the aforementioned products as well as digitalizing further into the sales processes. The DPC solution has proven to be a huge success, increasing loan sales 10 times. At the Cardiff Insurance Company, Altom implemented the DPC solution as well. Here it manages the medical assessment digital underwriting process, including orders and applications. The solution integrates different communication channels. It could be SMS, emails, letters, and a number of existing domain systems like the sales system and also the medical partners. By doing this, it manages both the medical orders and the applications. The solution enables Cardiff to integrate new medical partners quickly and has decreased the average time spent on medical assessment by 30%. Even though you, the participants, think that you have already digitalized and has automated processes, it is likely that if you have separate systems, that there are always some processes to improve and automate to a higher degree. If you have an error in mind that could be a subject for optimization and automation, I suggest that a meeting is set up with Altom. We can then together assess the current situation, and based on your experience and your knowledge, we can estimate a ballpark figure for the increased productivity. And on the other hand, Altom will estimate the cost of the implementation. This enables us to calculate an ROI for the project, and this makes it easy for you to make a go or no-go decision.
Okay, let me do the talking. What is a DPC used in the processes and projects that Mohan mentioned? DPC is an acronym that stands for Digital Product Center. It is a platform that enables the automation of processes, mainly processes like sales and customer service. You had some examples. But with a DPC, a business can model a process. A business can create and modify steps, user forms, check the progress of a selected instance or the whole process condition, and monitor the instances in each step, for example. Technically, DPC, as Mohan mentioned, is based on Camunda BPMN process engine, adding to it several features like process management, process monitoring, control center, etc. And as Mohan said, but it's worth underlining, it's a low-code solution, which means almost no coding is required, and this also improves the safety of the solution. And this is the moment I would like to show you a bit, give you a glimpse of a DPC. I'll make you a short presentation. Let's first start from a sample bank account application form. This is our application made in DPC. Let me fill in first form, sorry. I need to check the consent. And therefore, my application was created and is maybe monitored. To monitor it, I may use the control center for Camunda. I need to log in, find the processes, and this is the last process created. Probably this is mine process. What first we see the variables of this instance. Among them, you can see my telephone number, my email address, but also other informations important for Camunda. In Diagram tab, we may monitor the progress of the instance on the process on the diagram. This is the BPMN process. Those of you who are familiar with BPMN will learn it quickly, we can see that the instance has passed the contact data step, and now it's on the step of ID card scan. And this corresponds with what I see on the screen. The same we can see on the timeline. Here we have each step of the process that has been taken by this instance, the start time, the end time, and the duration of the step. Okay, let's move on with our instance. I'll add my ID scans and provide some additional information. This information is validated, therefore I should provide special strings. Of course, this is my personal, not my personal, but personal identification number, my ID card number, date of issue, let's say it's 1st of February, and I click next. And coming back to Camunda Control Center, check the diagram, and everything corresponds again. So we passed the step with ID card scan, the personal data, and now we are at the step of address data. What's also nice to check here is when we select the process itself on a global list, we may see the list of instances in this version of process, and we may check the diagram where these instances are located. And we can see there are 2 instances here on address data, 1 on summary, and 4 stayed on ID card scan. This could give us information, a clue that maybe this step should be somewhere further, not to make the people, not to scare the customers too much at the beginning, but it is just an idea. Okay, let's imagine that a business needs to know not only the first name and surname of the customer, but also their title, like Mrs. or Mr. So to add a field, usually there's a programmer's work involved. Using the DPC control center, I'll try to show it to you how you can do it without any special knowledge. This is the DPC control center. It has set some sections. I'll choose the section forms management called formulator and check the list of the forms. It means the screens already configured in this in DPC. And this is the contact data form. Yes, let's check it out if it's exactly the same. Check the preview. As you can see, this is the form definition configuration, and this is the screen we want to modify. How to modify it? I find the grid where the inputs are located and choose to add a new control. Then I choose from the different types of controls, I choose the drop-down control, and it appears here. Now I need to configure it. First, I need to add the name of the variable that will keep the information input in this field. So let's choose it, customer title, cast title. And next, I switch to advanced. The label, let's make it your title. Label for empty value. Please select 1. Why select? Because this is a drop-down. And we just need to define the list of the available values. First would be Miss, and another one would be Mr. And one last thing, I would like to make this field mandatory, therefore I need to add a validation. There are different validations available. I choose the simplest one, which is just the value required. I add it, and the error message, I may modify it, but let's leave it like this. Apply. Let's check the results. I regenerate the view. That's what we will see later. And here we have our newly added field. But let's move it a bit to the top. Let's place it just after the surname. Okay, so I reorder the fields. Final check. And here is your title. Perfect. So I save my changes and start a new application on production, and here it is, our newly added field. Okay, that was quite simple. Let's imagine something different, that we want to add a completely new step. We would like to collect the customer's liabilities, info about customer liabilities. I've already prepared a small form for this to show it to you. I will just open it. Okay, this is the form. See, additional data, total monthly liabilities. It's already configured so far. So all I need to do is to copy the ID of this form and move to the section of BPMN management. In this section, it is Camunda Modeler embedded. It's a tool very useful to model BPMN processes and very user-friendly, I'd say. What do we want to do? We want to place this step right after the contact data to show it to you in a few steps. I've changed the task to user task, give it a 9, call it liabilities. I add the form key, that's the value I copied just a second ago. And the last thing, and it's a bit of magic, kind of coding for business, I need to remember to copy so-called listener. Listener is something that invokes the code that is responsible for creating the view of the step of the screen from formulator that we've just made a few minutes ago. Okay, so I copied this value, come back to the step liabilities, change to listeners, change to delegate expression, paste. Okay, and now save new version. Let's try it out. Once again, I fill the form. This time I need to choose my title. The incorrect value, one more number, digit. And here we are. This is our newly added form. So to sum up, this ends my live presentation. To end it, I would like just to show you other component of DPC, which is responsible for preparing and monitoring, preparing the managerial information. In DPC, we can customly configure so-called dashboards. Dashboards are a combination of different diagrams and information. It depends on the product you are monitoring. So each time it's customizable. And Mochen, could you please take the screen back? Thank you. So yes, we've been through the steps. This is one of the dashboards we produced in one of the projects. Of course, it's anonymized. There are two sales funnels to compare two different periods, some small information, some small statistics on top. You can change the period, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. And this is mainly it. There are two other examples, but they are not more interesting than this one. It's just, as I said, a question of what are we monitoring and why. Okay, this ends up my part, Moken. By the way, to summarize, take a look. Took 10 minutes for me to change a step and to add another one. That's the main advantage of DPC. Sorry, let's come back to your summary.
Thank you very much, Jan. Now at the very end of the webinar, it is time to summarize what we've been through the past 45 minutes. You've seen a global bank reducing their manual labor cost by 60 to 70% by automating their customer buying processes using the DPC solution based on the open source Camunda process engine. The Camunda engine is widely used in the finance sector. The DBC solution was implemented by Altom, and at Altom we have a deep experience in the bank and insurance industry. If you are sitting by your computer and if you also have separate systems in your environment where you see an increased automation will improve customer satisfaction and reduce manual labor cost at the same time, we can help you calculate the ROI for the project, making it an easy go or no-go decision for you. So here at the very end, I would like to thank you for the participation. And if you had any questions, put in the chat, in the comments, we will get back to you with an answer.
Thank you.
Thank you and bye.